This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. Hi, everyone. It's Monday, March 16th. I'm here with Jeff and Al, and hi over there.
Hey.
And me, I'm Tori. Sam's on maternity leave. Erica has the day off. Let's get right to it.
We're not going to address like why we're.
I feel like I'm closer to my house than I am to you guys.
I feel like I'm not even in the shot.
Yeah, let's introduce why we're doing this. It's a 3-person panel because we're trying to practice what we preach here, which is social distancing. So how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the second half of the show from the meeting.
That'd be great for me. Okay, we want to kick things off with a big congratulations to Jeff and his wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Today is their anniversary. Mazel tov. You look stunning, both of you.
Look at my smoothie, huh?
That picture could be from any era.
Yeah. Dude.
Like literally that could be from 5 years ago or 55
What's
years
a
ago.
smoothie?
My hair.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's at the courthouse.
Wow.
We got dressed up.
Looking fly.
How do you make a courthouse look that good?
I had a tuxedo from Lance Bass's wedding, and I popped it on.
Hey, there it is.
Nice. That's amazing. Well, how many years have you been married?
4.
Mazel tov.
Thank you very much.
DBL Nation, let's all give him a round of applause, but without touching each other. Americans are waking up to a new reality right now. The CDC came out with new recommendations last night advising against holding gatherings of more than 50 people for at least the next 8 weeks. So we were talking 2 weeks, change here, 2 months now. Restaurants, bars in states like New York, California, Illinois, Ohio, Massachusetts, and more are closing their dining rooms, limiting many of them to takeout only, and some states are now even imposing curfews. More than 30 million students are out of school right now, with many expecting the school closures to extend for at least the next 2 months, if not longer. And the big news here is the lights are also going out in Vegas, as major casinos like the Wynn, Encore, MGM Grand, the Bellagio, and more are going dark. Check out this scene. This is Bourbon Street in New Orleans, where police shut it down Saturday night, telling partygoers to clear out to prevent the pandemic from spreading. Meantime, despite the social distancing guidelines, check out these super long lines that greeted overseas travelers who were returning through Chicago and other U.S. airports. That's your airport, buddy.
Yeah.
Some waited for hours. I went on Twitter to see, and someone was tweeting live from there saying people are coughing constantly. They have 2 desks being used. There's 7 desks that could have been used. A real failure of organization. We should have prepared for that.
Absolutely. And speaking of Chicago, where that was, my family's still back in Chicago. Everything's shut down. I was talking to them. So schools closed. My buddies own a couple Italian restaurants out there. I feel bad for them because they're only doing delivery. But my poor niece loves swimming, and she made it downstate, and she practiced all summer, all winter, all spring.
Man.
And she made it downstate, and they canceled everything. So I feel bad for some of these high school athletes, you know, that put in all that work, that can't do it. I mean, there's a bigger things going on. This is just something more personal to me.
No, Jeff, I think that needs to be brought up because I mean, this is just it's a time for self-sacrifice, but it doesn't mean that it don't hurt.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't mean that
Still
young lady
stinks.
didn't do push-ups and sit-ups and crunches and spend hours in the pool when she could have been at the mall or on her phone, and it just shows you all the sacrifices that we are all taking part in, and that's why, and we're going to get to this in a second, that's why I was really so resentful of what I saw with some other footage this weekend with people going out and partying.
Oh,
So, yeah.
You don't want to get me started. Let's go to that and speak of this. Speaking of social distancing, despite all the warnings, some bars and clubs, like this downtown Nashville honky tonk, was still packed over the weekend with people standing shoulder to shoulder. Even some restaurants were totally filled up with patrons, and of those who went out, this bothers me, some bragged about flaunting the social distancing guidelines. Even the governor of Oklahoma, you're supposed to be a leader, sir, who has since deleted his tweet, said, quote, "Eating with my kids and all my fellow Oklahomans, it's packed tonight." All right, where's my camera? This one? Is this it? If you're going out and making fun of social distancing, stop it. You're killing grandparents, grandma, grandpa. Stop it. I mean it. It's rude, it's awful, and it's the worst way to sacrifice. You're making fun of what patriots have done in wartime. This is not a lot to ask to not go to the bar, so stop it.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. Honestly,
like it,
it needed to be said.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you see everybody out at the club saying we're still partying. Those are people that first check the stats to see who gets it first. Because if it was 22-year-olds that got it or 35-year-olds that got it, they wouldn't be so tough. But they looked and said, hey, this only affects older people. I'm not in the category, so I can go out knowing that they can go out and spread it. It is unbelievably selfish, and it doesn't make you tough to go sit in a restaurant or go sit at the bar and drink a beer. Anybody can do that. A real human being, somebody with real empathy, not just lip service on Twitter or social media, stays at home. We all have to sacrifice. I don't know if that was your niece or your niece is staying at home, and she's one of the best swimmers in the country, but she's doing that for the greater good of everybody. And if anybody can sacrifice what she did, maybe you can have a couple beers on your couch. I didn't know we couldn't ask people to drink on their couch.
Right. I mean, it's a perfect time to catch up with family. I know all this because we were FaceTiming them and just having some wine, and they were doing the same thing at home.
That's a great idea.
It's a great way to catch up with friends you haven't talked to. I talked to one of my other buddies I haven't talked to in a while, best friend growing up. He was actually at Disneyland, which I thought closed down, but it closes down today, actually.
A lot of people talking
Monday.
about that picture. Abigail Disney herself wrote, are you bleeping kidding me? Because it's a picture of the Magic Kingdom filled with people.
Yeah, so he was still there, and I was yelling at him. I'm like, what are you doing there? And he's like, what do you want me to do, eat this money? So I get it. There's some problems. Some people can't spend their money. They feel like they have to go out or do this. But you don't need to be going to the bars, okay? It's one thing to make a tough decision for your kids and go to Disneyland. I get that. It's closed down now. But to go out to the bars and then make fun of it on social media and pretend like you're cool, and then when you catch that virus, you're going to go to somebody who did the right thing and ask for help. Could you please help me have the virus?
And then infect that nurse.
Right. Well, where were you? Why do you have this virus?
I was making fun of it.
You leave something up to human beings, like I always say this, and I'm not making a joke about it, returning your shopping cart at the grocery store. People don't care. They're selfish. Using your turn signal, putting your seat back on an airplane. These are all things left up to the humans. These are the humans that we leave it up to. That's why the world isn't working.
Wow. And that happy note, if you did notice, I actually appreciate that. If you went to the grocery store this weekend, chances are you were greeted by empty store shelves as Americans stocked up on supplies, but many started hoarding products, leading to vacant shelves. Even the president had to address the problem. Take a look.
You don't have to buy so much. Take it easy. Just relax. We're doing great. It all will pass.
Industry executives are echoing the president, saying not to worry, America's supply chains have not been disrupted, and that's a big, wonderful thing to hear. Meantime, stores like Walmart are cutting store hours, but listen, guys, not because they're out of supplies, but to help ensure that workers are able to stock all the shelves. When I went to the grocery store, they were hounding the person trying to unload the pallets to grab them first. So that's why they need to close, not because they don't have it. But what people who are hoarding products in order to sell them at an inflated price. You've probably seen this Tennessee man over the weekend. He stockpiled more than 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer. He was reportedly trying to sell them on Amazon for an inflated price. Now he's donating them all. I'm sure he didn't want to do that willingly, but is still under investigation for price gouging. How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, and it's people like this, you know? It's like, I just need to go out and get something for my family in a safe way and keep my distance and not touch people or communicate, and get like wipes for my children, diapers, hand sanitizer wipes. And it's people like this hoarding up all this stuff, trying to make a profit, and it hurts the regular people trying to do the right thing, you know? I
forget when people buy baby wipes that babies need the baby wipes. I heard that today. I was like, yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, and I went to Costco, and they did have some the other day. Good. But it's limit 2. I don't need 2. I want 1. I want other people to have it. You don't need to hoard things. Just be careful.
Can maintain your humanity.
Good for you
It
guys.
can be done quite easily.
It can be. Well, remember, you can also watch us on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Daily Blast Live. And coming up, we're talking to a woman who actually contracted the coronavirus, what it's like, and how recovery has been for her. I think we'd all listen to that. And plus, backed by popular demand, my girl, Dr. Pyle Coley.
She's my girl.
She's my girl.
What about me?
No, not your girl. She's answering more of your pandemic questions. And later, Orlando Bloom is getting personal and revealing the thing he skipped for 6 whole months. We'll be right back. I know, it's just crazy to think about, you know what I mean? You can't quarantine and then have some. You gotta quarantine and be done. So we were just saying.
You can't go into
Right, so Denver, the mayor, and by the way, I gotta talk to you about your governor, but the mayor of Denver, where we are, just announced they're closing restaurants for about 8 weeks, but takeout and delivery is available. I gotta be honest, if we're talking leaders here, your governor has become a real hero to a lot of people.
What, is that left Who's that?
It's something with a P. Perstick.
So I
She's
thought
been
who's
excellent.
left? Who's
Lightfoot. She's
Lightfoot.
the
Yeah.
mayor of Chicago.
But I forgot what my sister-in-law was saying exactly. I was talking to them over the weekend, and they said, like one day, I forgot who made the announcement. I'm not getting this right, so don't quote me on this. But one day they said they're not going to do anything or shut down anything, and then the next day they're like everything's shut down.
Oh, yeah.
So my sister-in-law was like, I was a little upset with that, but it's like, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, they have to do what they have to do.
Yeah,
Just because you said it one day doesn't mean you have to abide by that.
Like, remember
forever.
when we had people over saying this isn't a big deal, and then it got up to be a bigger deal, and then it got bigger deal, and then we were saying maybe a day, maybe 2 weeks, and the doctor's like, 2 months is what it's going to be. Now we're at 2 months. So, excuse me, don't think that our answers now, or the doctor's answers really, are going to be the answers in the future. Things are fluid. Things are like water, not like rocks. Remember water logic, rock logic. Water logic, rock logic. Do you remember
Doctor,
that?
could you have a one-on-one session with Tori maybe?
We would like that.
The water logic.
It's a Buddhist saying. You're not supposed to think life goes like this. Life goes like that. Right? I think that
Okay.
helped illustrate the point. How are you?
Still watch their grandkids.
I'm doing very well.
I like the social distancing up here.
Oh, yeah. Well, we took your advice. Okay, so we're doing questions on, if you guys don't know, sort of mental health. And then we're going to have a free-for-all of questions Jeff and I just have. So if you guys have questions, I'm looking right here. Facebook and YouTube, go ahead and let us know.
Let us know.
Let us know, governor. Is that Welcome back to DBL. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Pyle Coley is back. We're so excited.
She's just part of the team.
Like, she's going to be in the seat in a second. She will take over my position.
That would be amazing.
Never! Okay.
You're irreplaceable.
Thank you. Oh, heart bubbles. We have a lot of questions about the coronavirus. We've talked a lot about how it can affect us physically. But let's be honest. Let's talk about how it can affect us mentally. What can we do to keep our anxiety in check? It's real.
Yes.
It's happening. Let's get to some questions, Jeff. Go ahead.
All right, the first one is, who's that? Marlene wants to know. I was like, where am I reading this from? Should older people still watch their grandkids?
Great question.
Great question, Marlene. And the answer is no, not at this point, because we're thinking that kids are actually the carriers for a lot of these infections. And maybe the contribution of asymptomatic carriers to infecting vulnerable populations is higher. So I know it's difficult because the kids are out of school now, and what do you do with them? But really try to separate kids from older parents as much as you can. They can interact on FaceTime, they can call them,
That's
and
good.
it's important to still keep doing those types of things.
That's a really good question, actually, because I think a lot of
Exactly.
people were babysitting because they're at home, and you have the kids babysitting the grandparents, stuff like that.
But look how lucky we are in this day and age to have something like FaceTime to
FaceTime,
interact
yeah.
with your grandchildren, whoever. So take advantage of that.
Cook a meal together.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
On FaceTime?
Yeah.
Or play
whatever you
video
want.
A little
games.
Scrabble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Jimmy asks, will the virus come back in waves or cycles, and when? This goes along with the anxiety of we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so I really want to set the expectation that this virus is not something that's just going to go away. The CDC is anticipating that it may be around till the end of the year, maybe even next year, and it may become something like the flu virus that we go get a shot for. So I think we really have to change our mindset about how we think about this virus, not that it's going to go away, so much so that we can contain it and control the spread of it.
Okay.
Here's a good one from Missy. She asks, is there anything you're feeling hopeful about when it comes to having a vaccine or our power to isolate the virus?
Today, I'm extremely hopeful because
Really?
the
You had a
first
smile on your face while I
that's
was reading
good to
that.
see.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because the first patient undergoing clinical trials for the vaccine was today.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm really excited that we're working and making progress. Now, it's still probably going to be a few months before the vaccine comes out, and that's where our measures are really going to help with social distancing and all of those types of things. But I am very excited that we've already gotten it into clinical trials this quickly.
Okay, that's great. I do have a question from YouTube. This is Curtis Mayfield. What's the latest data regarding demographics for the deaths in Italy? Some reports were showing increased numbers in 20 to 40-year-old males. Italy had like 400 deaths in one day and like 21,000 new cases. But is that because they're now testing. Is that right? And
No.
is it males or demographics? Tell us what you have to say.
So deaths are very complicated. They're because of the virus itself, but it can also be because of the healthcare resources that are available and the government's response. So one of the challenges we've had in Italy is that the healthcare system has gotten overwhelmed with the
Hospital
number
beds and all
of
that.
people that have gotten sick at the same time. Yeah. So one of the reasons we're seeing a higher mortality rate in Italy is because of the lack of resources.
Wow.
And even healthcare providers themselves are dying more frequently because there are fewer of them. There's not a lot of personal protective equipment to protect them.
So if you're not really sick, stay home. Am I right? I mean,
Absolutely.
because we're going to overrun this hospital. We don't have enough ventilators.
Well, and that sounds scary when we
Yeah.
say it. But again, if we get all hands on board and we start to change the spread of this virus with social distancing, we can really space out. But if we continue at the rate we're going, you're right that this country has 100,000 ICU beds with ventilators, and we're anticipating 200 to 250,000 people will need ventilators. Wow. And we don't want to be in that situation that Italy is in, because then people do end up, unfortunately.
Let me ask you just a strange question, and there is no number to this, but how many people are going to actually have the coronavirus, pass it through their system, and not even know it?
We don't know exactly
I know you're
the
not
number,
gonna know that, but
a large majority are those
Right.
asymptomatic carriers, and kids are the ones that stand out, but even some adults will just have a cold, or some will have no symptoms at all and not even know it, which is why it is so important, whether you're sick or not, to be clean, practice hygiene, to practice social distancing, because you may be infected with the virus and not even realize
You could be
it.
carriers, and that's just as dangerous. That's like a loaded weapon. So please be careful if you love our elderly. Thank you again, Dr. Coley. You're wonderful. You look
My
great
pleasure.
in blue. If you want
Thank
more
you.
information about the coronavirus, go to cdc.gov or the World Health Organization's website. And remember, no panic, right? What are we doing here? We're just giving you prevention and precautions. We can do this together. We'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm here with Dr. Coley, and I'm wearing my fun shoes. Look at us, matchy-matchy. I saw you in the assembly line. We just wanted to talk a little bit more about mental health. We're going to get more into that in the upcoming days. Give us a little spiel on how you're feeling.
Yeah, so the things that we normally use to cope with mental health, like church, calling a friend and having dinner, they're not available to us right now. So it's really important for us to recognize that and to come up with alternative ways. So I personally am journaling every day.
Totally.
And I write one positive thing every day. But
that's
other people
so good.
are doing things like online church groups.
Yes.
And doing things like meditation and mindfulness. So whatever works for you, it's fine, but make sure you're doing something. Because it's
Find
really
something. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of needle pointing.
I also saw Core Power Yoga is doing online classes.
Yeah, some
on
of
your
them for
phone.
free. Core Power Yoga for free. That's
like
interesting.
that one.
Yeah, try and find a group online, a forum in which you feel comfortable. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks, Dr. Coley. Welcome back to DBL. 37-year-old Elizabeth Schneider felt fine while hanging out with friends one weekend in late February, but then shortly after, things took a turn for the worse. After 3 days, the Seattle native noticed her temperature was quickly rising from 101, then jumping to 103 degrees in a matter of hours. That's when Elizabeth decided to send in a sample to a flu testing facility. Her results came back positive for coronavirus. Since then, Elizabeth has been recovering in self-quarantine. She's better, but she's sharing her story as a coronavirus survivor. Her one big takeaway, don't panic. Earlier today, she told Lindsay what the virus was actually like. Let's take a look.
Elizabeth Snyder, thank you for talking to DBL. So you contracted the coronavirus after going to a house party in late February. After that, you self-quarantined yourself and have been recovering ever since. So first, I want to know, how are you feeling?
Yeah, currently I'm feeling great. I have my energy back. I no longer have any of the symptoms I was experiencing. I don't have a fever anymore. I did self-isolate myself during the course of my illness. I am, cleared by our public health guidelines to now go out into the public.
Let's go back to that party, because I think people really want you to paint the picture for them about how your experience was. So how many people were there and how many people got sick?
It was somewhere in the range of 30 to 40 people. We were all in one room, in a living room. And it was a one-bedroom apartment, so it wasn't super spacious. But no one at the party was visibly sick. No one was coughing. The total number of people who fell sick was somewhere in the range of 12 to 15 people. We all fell sick exactly 3 days after the party. And as of a few days ago, I got confirmation that apart from myself, there were 7 other people who tested positive from the coronavirus, and from that group of 12 to 15 people.
Well, I think what a lot of our viewers want to know is what COVID-19 feels like. So what exactly were your symptoms, and when was your illness at its worst?
The first night that I fell sick, I woke up in the morning earlier in the day, and I felt tired. I felt a little groggy, but I had been out a lot the previous weekend, and so I thought that I had just kind of overdid it and that I needed to stay in and not go out that night. So I went to the office as normal. And around midday, I started feeling that similar sensation that we get when we're starting to come down with something. I started feeling body aches. I had a fever. I was just really tired. So I went home early. I worked from home, and then I took a nap. And when I woke up, my temperature was 101 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
By that evening, it was up to 103 degrees. And I had uncontrollable shaking. I had the chills. All I could do was really brush my teeth and go to bed. But even at that point, I really didn't think it was the coronavirus. And one of the key things that I want to tell everyone is that, you may not have all of the textbook symptoms that are being circulated in the media and by the CDC and the WHO. Myself in particular, I didn't have a cough. I didn't have any respiratory symptoms. I didn't have any shortness of breath or tightness in my chest. So, even though the fever was high, I figured that I had just contracted a strain of the flu. I went to bed. I woke up in the morning. My fever came down to 101. So I figured that, I'm getting better and I should be able to stay home and recuperate and take over-the-counter medicines.
Well, now that you're all better, and we're so happy you are, what's your big takeaway from this whole experience?
First is, please don't panic. Please stay calm. Please, if you have any of the symptoms that I've described or any of the symptoms that are being described in the media related to the coronavirus infection, if you don't have any life-threatening symptoms, please stay at home, self-isolate yourself, take over-the-counter medicines, get lots of rest, and please, practice social distancing so that we keep other members of our community who are most vulnerable safe.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Elizabeth. Please continue to stay safe.
Thank you so much.
That's helpful. I mean, to be surprised seeing someone that got through it, right?
I literally just texted a picture of our thing to a friend of mine that's worried that they might have it, and I was like, if you do, it's fine. We're interviewing somebody right now. They're cool. Just go get tested. They're going to do that. So it's like, everybody, don't panic.
Yeah, try and
don't panic. Yes, it's okay.
That's why I asked Dr. Coley how many people are actually going to get this, like this young lady did, and just go through it. Because that's going to be the majority, not the people who need beds and things like that.
Right. That's what it is. It's just to flatten the curve so that everybody doesn't go to the hospital at the same time. It's just really like they do at Little League, making sure everybody piles up at once. You have one slice of pizza, you make a line. Everybody can come.
I was wondering where he was going with that.
That's a good analogy. It was a little shaky. It's like, so you don't want everybody to rush the table.
Oh, you stagger.
So you tell the kids, yes, get your orange slice, then
Why
get your slice of pizza.
Like when we have free burritos back there? This place empties out.
Exactly. Looking at you, editors and producers.
We love you. We'll be right back. Ooh, shots thrown.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
I have a lot.
Curtis Mayfield.
I know,
That's
that was
what I'm
so
saying.
weird
Was that
someone
a
wrote it.
famous diamond
I
in the
know.
back?
I said it like Curtis Mayfield. Wait a minute. Isn't that a
Maybe just say
baseball player?
Curtis.
All right, we'll just say Curtis. Sorry, buddy. So I wanted to give you guys an update. Doris Shoemaker, happy birthday, first off. Longtime viewer. We love you. But also, if you are experiencing and you are in that age bracket or immunocompromised, the doctor said if you are not needing breathing help, meaning I need a respirator, I need a ventilator, to stay home. So really they're asking you to self-quarantine and self-take care of yourself, even if you're feeling the symptoms, and telecommunicate with your physician to try and get yourself a test. Teledoc is a great one to go to, but look up telecommunication in that way so you don't have to go in. But Doris, unless, again, your breathing needs an aid, they suggest we stay home and maybe get a test. Also,
Tori, you're getting so good at
look at that, huh?
You're getting really good.
I told her
Look
that,
how it looks.
She's getting like really. I used to make fun of your things. Yours, you could definitely sell those in stores.
You
I'm not
think?
joking.
How much
Yes.
would you pay for this?
I'd buy it at a
You know what though? If it
garage
was,
sale
I'm not
for
even
10
joking.
cents.
If it was personalized for like, you know, baby Leighton or something,
Yeah, but
something
then
like one of a
if,
kind.
If she put Leighton on that,
Yeah.
here's the thing.
And then I put
I'd
it
be
up.
forced to put it up in my house because,
And you don't
or
like-
try to remember when she came over to put that up. Otherwise, her feelings would be.
No,
very
no,
hurt.
they would.
I don't want that responsibility.
No, you don't have to put them
See,
up.
but these are the things I think about when I receive
I would
a
not be
present.
upset, but what you do is cut this out and get one of those little stands, and you got yourself a little bathroom in your bathroom, a cute little thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Take time in the bathroom.
But then now you're going to give that to somebody and they have to feel obligated to hang it up.
I gave one to Brianna. It was a pineapple. Should we ask her if she feels like she has to put it up?
But she's going to lie to you.
I don't think she's put it up.
No, I don't think so
It's a
either.
cute little pineapple.
Why haven't you made me one?
Because I thought, who does a lot of work that doesn't get recognized? And that's Brianna.
Me?
That's not you, Al. That's Brianna.
Would you hang that up in your house?
I'm sure there's a knick-knack corner. Like the same place you would put maracas in your house. Something you would never reach for.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Al, how are people doing?
Tori, people are doing well. I love this comment by Julianne. She says, I've reconnected, by phone with old family and friends during this crisis. And Jeff and I were talking during the break. This is really going to be probably the only halftime you have in your life.
Yeah.
Where you can really do all the things you say you want to do. So go on and do them.
That's right, just like cross stitch. Here's what's coming up next on Daily Blast Live. It's a seashell.
The coronavirus is on everyone's mind, even celebrities. From Arnold Schwarzenegger's bizarre video to why Lady Gaga is taking things very seriously. How Hollywood is reacting today. Then people are making the best of self-quarantine. We'll show you the most spirited scenes from around the world. And Orlando Bloom is holding nothing back, his stunning sex life confession when DBL returns.
Viewer Chelsea W. sent us this email. She was told if she tested positive for the flu, it was impossible to have the coronavirus at the same time. And she wanted to know if that was true. Well, Chelsea, thanks for the question. To answer, we went straight to the CDC and WHO. So, is it impossible to get the coronavirus if you have the flu? No. A spokesperson for the WHO told us that, quote, it is certainly possible for someone to have more than one virus or other microbial infection at the same time. And when we talked to the CDC, they confirmed you can have both the flu and COVID-19 at the same time. So what would that do to your body? Unfortunately, we don't know right now. The WHO said they're currently researching that exact question. They want to know how the coronavirus interacts with other viruses or sicknesses, but they can't say yet if it puts people at more risk or changes symptoms. Bottom line, Chelsea, guarantee you can tell your friend they were wrong. Having the flu doesn't prevent you from getting COVID-19. And that's important. This false idea could lead people with the flu to think they're immune or don't have to take the same precautions to avoid COVID-19. Now, there are a lot of claims and rumors like this one out there. If you see one you want us to look into, send us an email. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
The Federal Reserve cut interest rates to near zero, and it's all in an effort to encourage you to spend money. Let's connect the dots. This is the second time interest rates have been cut in just the last 2 weeks alone. The coronavirus pandemic has taken a big toll on the economy, but the hope is that by making borrowing as cheap as possible, people will want to invest. Interest rates have a big impact on things like mortgages and auto loans. Because they are so low right now, the idea is that people will take advantage and finance a new car or take out a loan on their house. All that would help re-stimulate the economy. And that is Connecting the Dots.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. Let's get started. Some celebrities aren't taking any chances, and they're placing themselves under quarantine over coronavirus fears. So over the weekend, Heidi Klum posted this video. She's kissing her husband through a glass window. The model says they both got tested for the virus after feeling ill and are staying apart to be safe. Kind of creepy. Meantime, Today's Show host Al Roker.
I didn't like that noise.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
That was weird.
Yeah,
You'd never do that if it wasn't on Instagram.
Yeah, good call.
Sounds
You're so mean. Host Al Roker and Craig Melvin took the day off after a staff member did test positive. NBC also ordered all staff who came into contact with the employee to remain home and self-isolate. Gaga is also taking some time alone with her dogs. Remember, the singer suffers from an autoimmune disease and is putting herself in self-quarantine as a precaution. And speaking of spending time with your pets, check out this wacky video of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He tweeted this weird video of his miniature horse and donkey eating carrots while urging people 65 or older to stay home.
Wow.
That's not what I pictured, like, his living life to look like.
That seems like a weird dream you would have. Like we should.
It does.
Yeah, like you.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was in Grandma's kitchen with a donkey and a horse.
My 5th grade teacher was there. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, they all turned into raisins.
Yeah, but I do like the message because who is more macho than him? And he could have been like, hey, you know, if you've been doing your stuff, go out, feel free. And he's like, no, the strongest man in the world.
That was your Arnold impression?
I don't even try. I wouldn't try.
Can you do one line?
No.
Just say, I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Oh, that was terrible.
I told you,
wow.
I can't do any impersonation.
Tell your mini horse to come back.
I can come back.
That's not even close.
I don't know how to
do it. Darth Vader.
That was better.
Yeah,
that was weird. All right.
Yours was worse. You sound like his administrative assistant.
No, this is it.
Then you do it.
Tell your mini horse to stop eating the couch.
Flukenflagen, stop eating the couch.
That wasn't bad. That was good.
Flukenflagen?
It's an Austrian term. Hillary Duff has some harsh words.
That.
We can definitely not verify that. Hillary Duff has some harsh words for people who go out during the pandemic. She's not holding back. Take a look.
To all you young millennial that keep going out and partying, go home. Stop killing old people, please. To all you young millennials.
She encouraged her 15 million Instagram followers to stay home and binge watch TV shows instead. So
I'm cool with the first half of that. You could also write or do. This is. Look. I said this to Jeff during the break, and I say it again. This is probably the only time in our lives that you'll have the chance to do the stuff that you run your mouth about saying you want to do. If you really want to learn how to sand down a table and make a table from a block of wood, this is the time to do it. If you want to write that book, this is it. You want to get a 6-pack, do it now, buddy. But if you want to watch TV, that's cool. Watch this show, please. But if you have a lot of time, reconnect with your aunt. Talk to your kids. Yeah. Do stuff. I don't think just watching TV the whole time should be the answer as well.
Yeah, there's a meme going around that says your grandparents were called to war. You're being called to sit on a couch. Do this. And it shows a lot of perspective. They went through rationing. I mean, these people went through a lot. And if we're going out partying and making fun of it, what patriots are we?
Yeah, and I don't want to get too heavy because I know the world has already got enough on their shoulders, but I totally agree with Hillary Duff here. People are like, not only are they going out and spreading this virus because they're young and they're invincible and they're going to live forever, they have no disregard for anybody, meaning their grandparents, like you were saying earlier, until they until they get the virus. Then they're like, could somebody please help me?
I need a test.
Right? And they're mocking people by putting it online.
Yeah, you look like idiots. Again,
I can't.
Stop it.
Really?
Stop it. Oscar winner Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson are still in isolation in Australia, but they're taking things in stride.
Good.
Tom posted this photo on Instagram thanking the helpers, like Mr. Rogers taught us, and saying, quote, let's take care of ourselves and each other, but leave it to social media to be divided. Some people love all that Vegemite he used, which is a spread in Australia on your toast. Others said it was way too much. One fan posted this photo showing the correct amount to use. Another said, quote, from a lifelong Australian, you're seriously overdosing on the stuff. But hey, if it helps kill that bug, go for it. And finally, my favorite, life is like a tube of Vegemite. Don't try it all at once.
Why did you switch the country for that?
Because that's Forrest Gump.
That was for yeah.
I was trying really hard.
That was a good Australian.
Thank you. I was trying really hard. But Vegemite, if you don't know what it is a spread that Australians and New Zealanders love. You put a little butter, then a little Vegemite on top, and it tastes like death.
No, it's super duper. Were you here when we tried it?
Yes.
It was like very, if you haven't, it's very pungent and salty.
But what is the taste? Because I've never tasted anything like it.
Jeff, you've been to Hawaii. Have you had poi?
Actually, I've never been to Hawaii, but I have had poi.
Yeah, poi is also very salty, and it's just like there's certain things
it's like pasty.
Yes, there's certain places that you have to grow up there and eating it
like
to really
spam.
Spam especially it's part of their diet. If you're having it for the first time, it's bad news, but I feel like we should try it.
Do we have some?
I heard we had some Vegemite.
We actually don't have it now, but we do have breaking news. 15 minutes ago, Idris Elba has come out and said, unfortunately, he has tested positive for the coronavirus. So I want to let everybody know, because we're in a celebrity break, that just happened. He is tested positive, unfortunately. We don't have Vegemite, but it tastes what I think loneliness would feel like.
That was a smooth transition, Jack. Woo!
You just ran into the hills with a torch and then just came back and like, so, Vegemite.
That's my job.
That was amazing. But yeah, I mean, it's real life, and it shows you, even though when you try and break for like a little bit of levity, it's hard.
Yeah.
Are you still trying to continue this conversation?
I didn't know where we were going to go. We went Idris and tried to come back.
We're going to go to not doom and
Again,
gloom.
it's not, I mean, when you say it like that, people get nervous. You make them
he just has it.
Right, and he just is a strong guy, a healthy guy. I'm sure he'll get rid of it in 2 weeks, like it passes, like take its course. It'll pass through his body, and he'll be giving us updates just like Hanks and Rita.
Hanks and Rita, that's a good point. Well, not all the news right now is doom and gloom. Check out the giant tip one man left at a bar and grill in Columbus. He's a regular. He asked all the servers to split, isn't this cool, $2,500 so that they would have some money when the restaurant closed. Also, NBA players like Zion Williamson, Blake Griffin, and more are donating money to help pay the salaries of stadium workers during the shutdown. Yo, why is a rookie paying for that?
Kevin Love, I don't want to forget about him. He was one of the first persons, first people that
to do this.
Yes, he's donating $100,000 to the and also the part-time workers.
Wow.
The people that are in the parking lot flagging people in. Yes, and that's at Quicken Loans Arena in my hometown of Cleveland. So shout out to Kevin Love.
That's amazing. Mark Cuban's also doing that for Dallas, all the arena workers.
The Mavericks,
but I have to be honest. It's the Mark Cubans that should be doing this.
Right.
Zion Williamson is a rookie. The owner of, what team is he on? The Hornets?
No, the New Orleans.
The New Orleans Hornets?
Pelicans.
Pelicans.
Oh,
yes,
Pelicans.
I almost called them Hornets.
They make billions. You should be paying, not expecting your rookies to do it out of the goodness of their heart.
He's kind of like the leader of that city, though, even though he's 19 years old. You know,
but he carries it, though. I'm like, if you knew me at 19, I'd have been dead before I left the house. All that kind of money, that would have been the end of me.
I would have missed half the games already.
Is it? Am I on? All right. Orlando Bloom was in quarantine, after returning to the U.S. Now he's back at home and chatting about his sex life. Was that sexy? Yeah. He tells the Sunday Times he was totally celibate for 6 months before meeting Katy Perry in 2016. Orlando said his buddy told him it would be a good idea if he was really serious about a relationship. He also said he didn't do anything to help himself, if you know what I mean.
No, I think we got it. Yeah. It's weird when people brag about something that they don't do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I mean, if somebody wants to take a second to reset and be celibate, I'm with that.
Well, I'm glad he's clear about that, because you'd ask, like, I'm celibate, but you still help yourself out.
Yeah,
so it is a good point.
It is a good point. And he also just, did it, and then 6 months later said this was the worst thing ever. I don't advise this. Things need to be moving down there. So he actually says it's a bad idea.
But he's talking about traffic. Yeah.
Do you think this is part of the reason he got back together with Katy Perry?
Maybe. I guess.
You know what I mean? It's like it's been 6 months. Katy was the last person I was with. And,
I'm just not a fan of arbitrary numbers. When people say we have to date 3 months before this, so we have to do this in 6, like, what are these, like, what is the point of all of this? I don't like just setting arbitrary, like, before this happens, it has to be 3 weeks. Like, what does that mean?
Like 3 hours before you write back your text.
I don't get that. I don't like that. I think it's childish.
As a DJ name, DJ Arbitrary Number.
Okay. We'll put that under consideration.
That's
right
underneath.
Wow. Yeah, right.
If we're not off the air yet, we're gonna be.
Yeah, that was it.
All right, well, get ready for this. Move over, Pizza Rat. There's a new Subway sensation taking over the internet. Meet Egg McMuffin Rat. The hungry rodent was filmed taking an entire breakfast sandwich down the New York subway stairs. One onlooker is even heard saying he deserves it.
Yeah, oh, God. How terrible would it be, if you looked over and you saw a rat eating the same thing you are for breakfast? That's got to be a rough one.
So you say that's not a good ad for McDonald's?
No, not at all. They might want to, I just can't believe it stayed together.
That's what's so strange is that it was a nice patty and it stayed together.
Yeah, and also there's a sad person that dropped their they didn't even get a bite out of it.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's a rare drop when you drop it clean like that.
You know, someone said,
dude, look at that rat, dude. That's a big rat.
That's not his first McMuffin.
No, he's had a couple. He's had a couple. They said when you're an adult, spilling your beer is the same as when, as a kid, you lose your balloon. You're like, no, you know?
Yeah, where'd you get that one from?
Just, you know, when people drop things, it's sad.
I don't think that was a saying, though. I think
did you see it this morning?
No, that's a saying.
When have I never heard it?
I've heard it.
Okay.
Where'd you hear it from?
I heard it on the social media. All right, coming up on DBL, Europeans are making the most of their time at home during the coronavirus crisis. We've got some good ideas to keep your mind occupied coming up next. Kelly Schubert says, ha ha ha, Tori. What's up, Kelly? We miss you.
Yeah, Kels, what's up, girl?
We miss you.
You know what I was thinking about the other day with Kelly Schubert? I hope she's watching. One time when I was on the show, I made fun of her for cleaning her desk off.
Oh, dude, hardcore.
Yeah, and Kelly cleans her desk.
So
and
hardcore.
Now it looks like she was a prodigy. She's ahead of her time.
Yeah, she has
Kelly, we're all gonna be cleaning.
Here, let's show her this.
Show everybody.
Travis, watch this. She put a sign on, and this is to be fair. Kelly often has people always going to her desk because she always has things. She's like that friend. But come and take a look, Travis.
So funny.
And Kelly, I'm not touching. 6 feet away. It says, please don't touch. I'm sorry. Smart move. We all think the person's crazy. Like, remember when Naomi Campbell cleaned the airplane seats before and we're like, what a kook? And then we're like, oh, she's brilliant. No, she's really, really smart. So, Kelly, big shout out to you. All you OCD people, you type A people, you germaphobe people, you gotta be just like, bravo to you. And all you introverts who love staying home. Good moment. Joel?
1 minute.
Joel, stand up. Nope, he's an introvert. He can't stand up. See what I'm saying? My dad said, introverts of the world unite separately. And then one of them is, bad spellers of the world untie. Instead of unite, because they spelled it wrong. Anyway, if you guys are looking for Amazon projects, you can download Needlepoint that comes with everything. So cross-stitch, coloring books are really fun to watch. I've been watching Fauda on Netflix, The Bureau on Sundance, and Borgen, which is the West Wing of Denmark. And Sneaky Pete is very good. And Love is Blind, I watch every episode. Every single episode. You watch it all? I've watched every episode. Love is Blind, I just said. I've only seen one. Welcome back to DBL. Right now, the words COVID-19, social distancing, and toilet paper are all you hear. But at this point, you're probably hearing them from the comforts of quarantine. And people around the world are making sure that quarantine is a quarantine of fun. And doing whatever they can to stay sane. Like these people in Spain who did not let a pesky little quarantine get in their way of their workouts. So the instructor holds classes on the roof for the surrounding balconies. I think that's cool.
I guess it's just like he's teaching them jumping jacks. Like, do some core exercises.
No, but I need someone to keep me like 25. Let's keep going. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
And how about these Italians who've turned a malady into a melody? Huh? I always say malady, say milady. I always get that word wrong.
I would have skipped it.
Yeah, you would have skipped it.
Yeah.
They're gathering for balcony parties. How cool is this? They're singing together, perhaps in the key of C for coronavirus. Take a listen. Aw, I think that's great. There's also a famous trumpeter, if you don't know, in Italy who's a music teacher, and as the sun set, he played Imagine by John Lennon on his trumpet. I'm not going to do a good recreation, but it was like...
No,
okay.
no,
okay.
Just don't.
Okay, it was like...
No,
okay.
don't, no.
I'm really hoping to do it.
Yeah,
we
don't
get
do
the
that.
Videos.
I didn't know Italy had palm trees. Is that weird?
It's Mediterranean.
Yeah.
It's Mediterranean.
It's that hot there though, all the time?
Well, I mean, there's like the Amalfi Coast has it.
Yeah, along the coastline.
You guys don't sound too sure.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to Rota, Spain, and there's like, that's the beach. It's the beach with palm trees. Like, Rota is the beach.
Capri and Elba.
Capri?
Yeah, you're supposed to say Capri, but don't you sound like such a jerk when you say Capri?
Yeah, I didn't know. I just saw the palm trees. I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
there you go.
Good talking. So here are even more ways to stay sane. You want to learn a little something, Jeff?
I do.
Watch this. The kids are going home, so keep their gears turning with some virtual classes. This is so up Tori's alley. Scholastic just announced they're offering them for free for grades 6 and up. This way you can keep the kids' brains busy with games, articles, quizzes, and activities while you parents can take a break. Perhaps with an ice-cold quarantini.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be drinking martinis while my kids are studying. Maybe you could sit and read next to them. That's also an idea. No, I mean, I think this is a good chance to like show your kids like, hey, education continues outside of school. So if you do this, you find whatever you need to do, even if it's just reading instruction for something you want to build, and just do it next to them and show that like life is a lifelong learning process.
Curiosity is fun. Huh?
That was not a phrase. It wasn't catchy. It was just it was just a direct statement
with fun at the end.
Yeah.
How about this? Curiosity. Talk about fun.
But isn't there one with curiosity and a cat?
Yeah,
already?
but then that's kind of morbid.
Yeah, that killed the cat, so that's not good.
So we need a positive one.
Yeah. Save the dog. All right, instead of hoarding toilet paper and snacks, you could also use your quarantine to get cultured and visit some of the world's best museums. So Google Arts and Culture has teamed up with over 500 museums and galleries to offer virtual tours and online exhibits. Glass of wine, you know what I mean? The world may be shutting down. Take a little Pinot Noir. Your brain doesn't have to shut down and go to the Louvre.
Why is everything involved drinking?
Exactly.
So sad.
You're going to be looking at a museum, have some wine.
Yeah.
Talk to your grandmother, 2 shots of scotch. Like, you could just also just do these things.
That's true.
Why do you have to be hammered to look at these beautiful things?
Because I want to have a glass of wine and like a cheese tray and then like look at the Louvre with some music in the background.
Let's just say that you want to have a glass of wine and anything else that's happening, it's just happening.
All right.
This one I kind of like. Yeah. I think I could actually do this.
Like a cheese plate and go to Italy on the computer and you put, when the moon hits your...
You just ruined it.
Yeah. What year is this?
Okay, if you're trying to stay sane while you're stuck indoors, you can master the art of the meme, or as my mom calls it, the meme. Like this one about Steven, about working from home during quarantine, tweeting, team meetings this week be like, okay.
Yeah, that's actually go to meeting. That's not a meme.
What is it?
It's like the Brady Bunch because everyone's on telecommunications.
Oh, ha ha.
That's the best meme we got?
Well, I know. I thought that was a little lame. Jeff, was it a big rat? That's my favorite you said today. But what's really spreading are coronavirus memes on TikTok. And now is your chance to become
now we're talking.
the internet hero.
That is
Some
good.
breaking news that we can't stop watching, to be honest. Like this little guy who is teaching people how to stay healthy during the outbreaks. I was going to make fun of this, but I love it.
Look at that. They
He's
set
so
up a
little.
How did they get the little...
Look how tiny that little
Is
guy
that a mouse or a baby rat?
I think it's a hamster.
I think it's a gerbil.
Oh, well, hamsters are rats.
Yeah.
They're just small rats.
Let us know if you're a hamster.
A raccoon's a big rat. They're all rats.
You never had a
Bats
pet
are
hamster?
sky rats.
You never had a pet hamster when you were little?
Yeah, it's still a rat.
You don't have a pet pet rat?
It's a rat. Everything's a rat. A bat is a rat. A raccoon is a rat. A pigeon is a sky rat. They're all rats.
Sky rat.
It's just some are cuter than others.
Okay. Or you can
Mickey Mouse is a rat.
Oh my gosh! Don't take Mickey away.
Ratatouille is a rat.
Well, yeah, that one is self-explanatory.
Or you can make a happy little PSA about washing your hands to the tune of Happy Birthday. Watch this guy. He remembers to sing it twice. And look what he got. Little cake.
I think those small cakes are so underrated. Just to break out a little small cake every once in a while, I'm with it.
It's a personal cake. I like it. Oh, underrated. I agree. All right, stick with us. We have hard-hitting news on Mickey Mouse and others. We'll be right back.
Declaring a national emergency sounds big, but what does that actually mean and how does it help fight the coronavirus? Let's connect the dots. First up, a national declaration of emergency falls under the Stafford Act, which was passed in 1988. And the big thing it does is free up money for state and local government during an emergency. So, once the declaration is made, the Federal Emergency Management Agency is able to funnel money from its disaster fund to the governments on the front lines. The Stafford Act has been used before in response to a medical disaster. President Clinton declared a state of emergency in 2000 in response to the West Nile virus in 2 states. For that, the federal government sent $5 million to those states to help fight mosquitoes. This disaster declaration involves a lot more money and will be a lot more complicated than fighting mosquitoes.
Judge Judy's impact on the daytime community and also the viewers that vote is immeasurable. Like, she is the Oprah of, like, judges. It doesn't feel like it.
Well said. That should be the last thing you ever say on the show, and you just walk away.
I didn't know her.
I think we really have to be very careful, because the more that people spew online talking about other people's bodies, if it's not positive, you are perpetuating a culture of young girls and young boys who are going to self-harm.
Let's stop acting like the democracy that we know and that we teach our kids is still in place. The 3 branches of government has been shown to be ineffective. The executive branch completely came in and dominated the other 2 branches, and so this is what we have. Here we are. Enjoy your king. Welcome back to DBL. Road trips can be the best way to take in America's beauty, but it can be difficult to see it all. So we're talking about some of the country's most iconic drives in today's DBL Drive, presented by who, y'all? Car Shield. We still got it. I've always wanted to drive cross country, and I did it once, and I did it along I-10. So I started basically like around the Jacksonville area and drove to Los Angeles. I drove a friend's car to Los Angeles for them. Whoa. Yes. And so it was something I always wanted to do. I did the I-10.
Wow.
So we started from the bottom. Now we're here. I want to go from the top. I want to take I-90, pick up in Maine. I want to have some nice maple syrup up there. Have a little chowder.
Little lobster chowder.
Have a lobster roll.
Chowder.
Maybe see where they did that Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah.
Wherever the heck that is.
Sad movie.
Yes. And then I want to hop in the car. I want to do I-90. I want to go up through New York State, through Pennsylvania, through my hometown of Cleveland. And Cavs, and end up in Washington. But on the way, you think about what's at the top of the country, like North Dakota, the top of Minnesota, all that kind of stuff.
The UP,
yes.
Michigan? Wow.
Yeah, go up through there. So that's my road trip dream.
Really?
And I can say I did the top of the country, the bottom of the country. So I just need a reason to do it. Maybe DBL will let me do it.
Maybe we could take a road trip with DBL.
Ooh.
A DBL road trip?
Maybe a Car Shield DBL road trip, where we get in the car and we just don't come back for 2 weeks.
That's the best idea in the world. I'll be in charge of music.
Yeah, ooh, no.
And for peace of mind on the road, get an auto protection plan with Car Shield. Car Shield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
What's up? Welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm your boy with all the beauty knowledge, Jeray for the Slay, and today we're here with more red light beauty tips to help your day move faster. Now, today I've been having so many inquiries about lashes. What kind of lashes should I use? What lashes are for me? Should I wear strip lashes or extensions? And that's where I come in, my friends. Now, if you don't know, the new craze for everyone has been lash extensions. These are phenomenal because you go see a specialist maybe once every 3 weeks, get some lashes put on top of your own lashes, and have a phenomenal, beautiful look that's easy to maintain. About every 3 weeks or so, you get a refill put on, so those lashes that might be falling out get put right back on top, and your look keeps going. Our fabulous host, Erica Cobb, is known for her lashes, and it makes her look so beautiful every time, no matter what she does, because it's consistent and she always makes sure that those lashes are done. Now, is this for everyone? Not always. I would definitely say lash extensions are more for the person who have a very fast-paced life, someone who doesn't want to spend a lot of time in their own look, and they want something that just gets up and goes for them. Now, if you're more of a business gal, you can make sure that you have a certain lash style. So you don't always have to have a super full lash. You can have more of a classic lash style. You can have a blended lash style as well, or you can go for a little bit more of a cat eye or more of a dramatic lash too. This is something that you and your lash extension artist will talk about, of course. Now, is this for everyone once again? Not always, my friends. If you're in college, if you're over here paying off some debt, honey, maybe we're catching up on some bills, that's when we want to go back to good old Ardell strip lashes, my friend. Now, Ardell isn't the only lash brand out there, but it's one of my favorites because it's everywhere. Walmart, Target, Ulta, how you doing? But there's also lash strips from MAC Cosmetics. Now, what's the difference? Lash strips are going to be put on with a glue that's meant for temporary usage. With this glue, you're going to make sure that it's able to come off at the end of the day so you can peel those lashes off and go back to being the boo-boo that you are with no lashes whatsoever at all. That's fine though. We can put those lashes to the side and only use them for Fridays and Saturdays. That's fine if that's your cup of tea. However, make sure you're really removing all that lash glue residue so that you're not blocking and clogging your pore. Same thing for lash extensions, guys. You don't want to continuously do this for like 6 months straight because your lashes still need to breathe. You have pores there that want to get all that good oxygen to help continue to nourish all those beautiful hairs. Remember, your lashes grow on about every 3 to 5 week lash cycle. So if you're going every single week, you're gonna start noticing some fraily lashes or some lashes that just don't look as beautiful as they could. So let me know, guys, are you guys gonna go for more of lash extensions for an easy morning, or are we gonna keep it to Friday and Saturday with some lash strips? Tell me at Jeray for the Slay on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Judy's impact on the daytime community and also the viewers that vote is immeasurable. Like, she is the Oprah of, like, judges. It doesn't feel like it because,
well said. It's probably the last thing you ever say on the show, and you just walk away.
I didn't know her.
Let's stop acting like the democracy that we know and that we teach our kids is still in place. The 3 branches of government has been shown to be ineffective. The executive branch completely came in and dominated the other 2 branches, and so this is what we have. Here we are.
Welcome back to DBL. It's been wonderful sharing this day with you and hopefully entertaining you as well as giving you some facts.
Yes.
Al, do we have any comments?
Yes, we do. Monty says, I think the coronavirus is making y'all loopy. I'd agree with that.
Listen, we're just trying to have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The world's in shutdown and needs a little levity. I understand this weight that we're carrying, but we got to have fun.
Yeah, and you have to realize that, again, even if you wanted life to go this certain way, life always goes more like this than like this. So just go with the flow if you can.
I think that's a famous proverb. That's
it's actually a Buddhist saying.
We call that a takeaway.
All right, the takeaway is this. People think rock logic. I have to have my wedding here, and I have to not change it here, and I have to get graduating here and go to school here. And really life is like water logic. You guys are such jerks. Remember, we're always on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Daily Blast Live. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Wake up, Alan Jack.
Is it over?
Yeah, we're done.
Is
we're
your
done.
speech done?
I'm done. Bye, guys.
Be nice to somebody out there.
That's right. Have fun, y'all.